So, bitches, and I'm back. And today, I'm gonna be talking about. I guess I'm gonna start on my WWE ranting today. Today, I'm gonna be talking about Dave Batista. Well, it's gonna be a rant on Dave Batista, not Batista in the WWE. Dave Batista. Dave Batista is the Batista that can't lift worth shit. He runs his mouth too much, and he's for Hollywood. He's not for WWE. Okay, this video was gonna be, Batista never came back, but y'all was gonna be confused. Batista never came back. Dave Batista came to the WWE, not the Batista we know. Dave Batista, because Dave Batista is the one that's I mean, kind of like John Cena. That's Dave Batista. Dave Batista can't lift worth shit. Dave Batista can't wrestle worth shit. Dave Batista cries and whimpers and complains all the fucking time. That is Dave Batista. Batista was the animal in Evolution, the one that made Evolution as dominant as it was. When Batista left Evolution, Evolution crumbled. But you see the difference between the 2002 Batista all the way to the 2010 Batista? That Batista was the one that was dominant. Even the fancy Batista that was in the WWE was badass. But Dave Batista, the one that came back, that Batista didn't deserve to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, Batista didn't really need to win the Royal Rumble anyway. I mean, hell, I love Batista, but he didn't deserve to win the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan should have won the Royal Rumble, or Roman Reigns, or Dolph Ziggler, or CM Punk. I actually thought it was going to be CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble, but we all knew deep inside that Batista was going to win that Royal Rumble some type of way. Dave Batista, anyway. I mean, you people don't need to be saying Batista. It's Dave Batista, not Batista the animal. Dave Batista from fucking Hollywood. Because Dave Batista from fucking Hollywood was the one that walked out on us. He walked out on us because he didn't want to wrestle anymore. Because he's lazy and he's old. But the Dave Batista that was in the WWE before, that Batista walked out because he was playing a role as a heel and because he was off to do better things. And he was injured. I mean, he wasn't injured like he liked us to believe, but he was injured. That's why he left WWE. And because he wanted to pursue a Hollywood career. But the reason why Batista still wasn't somewhat involved in the business and had anything to do with the business was because he was Dave Batista when he left. I mean, while he was gone, he turned into this, lazy Batista that doesn't want to do anything, but thinks he's rightful to win the World Heavyweight title. That Batista was the Batista that I didn't like. The Batista that I got tired of, when he left WWE. Hell, when he left on Monday Night Raw, I can't say I was happy. I was mad. I was angry. I was like, man, Batista's leaving again and he's never coming back. This is the Batista we have to live with, okay? Let's put it in perspective in case some of you people don't understand. Dave Batista was the one that couldn't beat Roman Reigns toe-to-toe. But the Batista we seen at Payback, the Batista we seen all of these years, that Batista can beat Roman Reigns. That Batista can beat Roman Reigns. If it wasn't for if it wasn't for WWE ruining Batista's character and making him into that whiny wannabe Brock Lesnar Batista, that Batista would, because Batista was his own man. Batista was a totally different person. Batista debuted around the same time Brock Lesnar debuted in WWE. Batista was a totally different person. Batista never ripped off Brock Lesnar. Batista never ripped off, Scott Steiner. Batista never ripped off anybody. Batista was his own fucking man. But WWE tried to make Batista another Brock Lesnar. Batista didn't want to be another Brock Lesnar. But WWE tried to turn him into another Brock Lesnar. Cause how do you think that movie was made with Rob Van Dam in 2010? That was when Batista left. He wanted to pursue originally a Hollywood career. But WWE wanted him to be like Brock Lesnar, so they made him go to MMA. Batista's too old now. Batista can't come back. Batista's in his 40s. Batista is too old now. If Batista was to come back, there'll be nothing left for him. Roman Reigns would already be, in the top spot. Randy Orton would have to retire. Triple H would, want to leave the company or just stay in the company or whatever the fuck works for him. I really don't give a damn about Triple H. Triple H is so fucking boring. But, yeah, there'd be nothing left for Batista. WWE fucked Batista. They made him into this lame-ass character. And guess what? Guess what we got? We got Dave Batista. We didn't get the animal. We got Dave Batista. You people can say all you want that was Batista. That was not fucking Batista. That was Dave Batista. Okay, for an instance. Let's use the Batista at Payback. The Batista at Payback beat the fuck out of Roman Reigns. You can't say that Batista didn't. I watched it, and I bet all you people watched it and say, hey, maybe that's the Batista we need to see. Because that Batista was not the weak link. The Batista that was the weak link was the one that was getting his ass kicked by every member of the Shield. Randy Orton even made himself the most powerful one in Evolution. But the Batista I seen at Payback, I thought to myself, hey, that's the Batista I wanted to see when he came back. The mean animal. That's what I wanted to see, the most dominant member of Evolution. And you thought for a second in that match, that's what it was. It was Batista, the animal coming back. But that was short-lived. I guess Batista thought, oh, since I brought out the animal, I have the right to quit. Batista, if Batista acted like that in the newly reformed Evolution, every week the Shield would be getting their ass kicked. Instead of just some weeks, That's what you people need to understand, that was not Batista. That was Dave Batista. That was not the animal. If that was the animal, he would have destroyed the Shield by himself. He would have took out he wouldn't need Randy Orton's overgrown ass and Triple H's steroid madness ass. It would just be Batista by himself taking out all those members. Okay, think about this for a second. Every person that got put against the Shield was able to topple as many times as they wanted. But guess what? When they tried to topple Evolution, well, actually, it wasn't really. The one time that Evolution really beat the fuck out of the Shield was, the week before Payback. That's when they really beat the hell out of the Shield. Because they didn't need, 3 other guys to help them or the whole locker room to do it. They needed just those 3. And that's the Batista I wanted to see all that time. That's why the return of Evolution was so stale and so lame. Like, it was just like, why did Evolution even come back? I mean, that was the most dominant faction of all factions. They toppled DX. I mean, you could say what you want. If you put the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg, Jesse James, X Pac, and, you know, the rest of them, China, against, you know, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair, who the fuck you think would win? Evolution. Because Evolution was so powerful. No one could stop them. The New Age Outlaws, you know, you seen at WrestleMania what happened to Kane and the New Age Outlaws. They got destroyed by the Shield. Destroyed. That wasn't even a fucking match. That was just a beatdown. That could have been a kickoff match. But you see what happened with Evolution versus the Shield? They beat the fuck out of each other. Because was the faction of all factions. And I honestly think that Evolution would have won all 3 times if they all evolved. Because you could tell that Batista wasn't evolved because he was, you know, he was centered out. He was taking out. But then in the payback match, that's the Batista I wanted to see, more or less. But yeah, that was the Batista I wanted to see. Not the fancy Batista that whines, bitches, and complains all the time. I don't want to see that Batista. But my point is, as far as I'm concerned, that was Dave Batista that came back. That was not the Animal Batista. If you think that, you're fucking retarded. Alright, leave a comment and subscribe and peace.